Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I want to talk about finance YouTube, and in particular, how I believe finance YouTubers are probably giving you the wrong information, and you need to be very skeptical when they're giving you information so freely, because I'm always looking at what do they gain from giving you this information. So let's have a quick look at some. I'm not going to mention names just because I don't want to say anything defamatory, but let's just look at some of the things finance YouTubers say. So obviously some finance YouTubers will say, put all your money into super or a 401k as America would call it. I believe that's respectable. Like obviously you get some tax benefits in Australia if you load up your super. I get that. I get the mentality of that. And obviously if you plan on living to that retirement age, then that's great. Although with Australia, they keep trying to move the goalposts. They keep trying to make it older and older and older to get your super. So I'm a bit skeptical with whether by the time I get to retirement age, maybe it'll be 80, 90. At the moment, it's in mid 60s. So I'm just skeptical about whether I'm actually going to live to see super. So, but look, it is respectable. It means that when you hit that age, you won't have to live off the pension or anything. There will be other things you can live off your super. So that's a respectable way to go. I think that's kind of right information. So that's okay. It's just where they get into talking about things like, and put all your money into stock, put all your money into crypto, put all your money into gold and silver. It's like, look, I get gold and silver. I can understand gold and silver if you're actually buying the physical metal, like the gold coins and silver coins. Personally, I think they're a bit inflated in terms of price, but look, I look at the scrap value. I look at that and I go off like, okay, if silver's trading at what, $28, $29 or whatever. I know it jumped a couple of weeks ago, but it's slowly come back down. But let's say it's jumping at $28. And then a coin selling for 40 or 50. It's like, I don't see the value in that. I mean, obviously you're taking into consideration the labor and costs of that coin being produced. But I also think that it's a bit of a not necessary. And then, if you put your money in metals like gold and silver, gold is definitely a good investment. I think gold is always the gold standard. That's why they call it the gold standard. I think when everything crashes, people go back to gold. And that's been done for thousands and thousands of years. So that's why I'm like, okay, if I was going to do anything, I'd do gold. Not that I'm a rich person. I'm saying this from someone who doesn't come from money. I'm saying this as someone who just watches these finance YouTubers and says, okay, that's a bit weird. But then you hear stuff like, oh, if you wait for the property crash, like all your money, you want to wait for the perfect moment and your buying power is this and this and this. It's like, cool, but like, I've mentioned him once or twice on this channel, and I'm gonna say his name because I'm gonna say a respectful, I'm gonna say in a respectful way that, like, I learned a lot from this guy. And his name is Myron Golden, and he does something different to all of the finance YouTubers that I've seen. He comes on YouTube and he says, no, you're not going to do this. You're not going to put your money there. Who knows? You don't know that. Don't put your money there. What you're going to do is you're going to invest in you. I'm still getting over the cold, guys. Sorry. But he says stuff like, no, the best investment you can make is in you. And like, part of the reason I started this YouTube channel was he's like, no, what you're doing right now is you're trading time for money. And what you want to do is you want to it'll start off slow. Obviously, YouTube, if you start off, it's going to be slow, but like you want to slowly build. And, it's like a 5-year plan or whatever. Like, yes, year one won't be great, but it'll be like, it'll snowball. It'll go down and you'll obviously get results in a few years. And I'm not looking at YouTube as like an income replacement, but it's definitely one of the things that I feel passionate about. And actually, I like doing this. So, yeah, Myron Golden is one of the few YouTubers who I've seen saying different stuff to everyone else on YouTube. But it seems like there's some people out there who say, use debt to build an empire, use debt. And I look at that and I'm like, this guy's going to make people bankrupt. And I don't want to mention names, but the guy I was watching is a really smart guy. Like, he's got a couple of books. He's got he's got a reputation. Like, people obviously turn to him, and he has got a following. The only problem is that he does have a lot of debt as well, and you need to be aware that if they ever come to collect or if something major happens, I mean, most of these YouTubers, they say, oh yeah, I'm successful, I have this, this, and this, and this. But for every successful business they have, there's about 3 or 4 successful businesses that failed, or 3 or 4 businesses that failed for everyone that succeeded. So I'm very skeptical of finance YouTube. And not all finance YouTubers are bad. Some actually do give you a heart-to-heart. Like, there's this Graham guy I watch, and sometimes he does, when he's scripted, it seems like he's reading too much about, like, you need to know this, and you need to know that, and this is this. But he's been doing these videos in recent weeks where he's just been talking off, no script, just talking from the heart and saying, like, no, this is what's happening. Like, the market feels like it's going to crash, and it doesn't, it's not sustainable, this, and this, but also this might not be sustainable. This might not be the smartest thing. So I've been watching a bit of this Graham guy. I forget his last name, but he, yeah, all these finance YouTubers, you got to find which ones, are not reading from a script and not trying to get an incentive. I mean, there's, some finance YouTubers who, come on and they tell you, what I want you doing is I want you using this app and planning out all of your expenses. When your paycheck comes in, I want you planning every expense into this app. And he owns the app. So you see what I mean? He gains something from telling you to use the app. And this, I'm trying not to mention names, but, you know, you have to look at what they tend to gain from giving you that information. Myron Golden, I think, he's a very wise guy, and yes, he does, stand to gain a following from it, and he does, obviously, if he gets more known and more people want to pay for his courses, I think that's where he makes primarily a lot of his money, is from courses. And yes, you have the information that's for free on YouTube, but if you want to have more whatever, I think that he has courses available, so I think that's how he makes part of his income. But he's a millionaire 26, 27 times over, so, like, you know what I mean? Like, he seems like someone I can actually be like, okay, he's got a track record, but also he's not screaming buy crypto, you know? And I don't trust crypto. I don't invest in anything I don't know. There's, I think it's Charlie Munger who once said, or it might be in Warren Buffett, he says, I don't buy anything I don't know. Like, I think he invested in Coke once, and he was like, yes, because I have a can of Coke here, and I can look at it, and I know what I'm buying. And then you look at, like, I think he invested at McDonald's or maybe he gets McDonald's every day, but I'm going to assume he has some money in McDonald's. And, you know, he'll invest in McDonald's because he knows McDonald's. He knows people are going to go back to McDonald's. He knows what he's getting into. But so many finance YouTubers will tell you, put your money into this new company and this and this and this, and if you invest this right now in crypto, you'll get 10 times your return. And it's like, it just seems all wrong. And I'm no finance expert. I am just making this video because I do watch finance YouTube, and I think a lot of them give you the wrong information intentionally. And I look at what they're doing with their money. I'm not looking at what they're saying. I'm looking at what they're doing. I mean, yes, people like, I don't want to mention names, but some of the finance YouTubers out there, they'll tell you, oh, well, I will think you should buy gold, and I think you should invest in the stock market, and I think you should put it all in Apple stock. Meanwhile, they're over there buying gold and silver. It's like, you know, it's like, I'm looking at what they're doing rather than what they're saying. And I think with finance YouTube, it's got to the point now, it's the most profitable niche on YouTube. And that's why so many YouTubers turn towards finance. You see, like, once they get to a certain point, they say, finance channel. It's because it's the highest paying niche. I think it pays like $40, $50, whatever. It's some insane amount that they pay because ads want to be on finance videos. And people with disposable income will be watching those videos. So they're obviously looking at ads. Ads are very profitable on those channels. That said, I think that the idea of finance YouTube, you need to be very cautious with what they're telling you. Like, take it with a grain of salt and then do your own research. Like, if you've done research into crypto or whatever, and you can say, okay, I've looked up every stat, I've looked up every minor detail of this, and I can say with confidence that this is going to go up or down, and I feel like it's going to go here. And also, you're in it for the long run. I mean, if you're in it for a year, then don't even bother. But if you're in it for like 30, 40 odd years, then it might be profitable to you. But it's just a matter of, I think finance YouTube is really giving people the wrong idea. and it's going to mean a lot of people get hurt when the time happens. I mean, I've been watching in recent weeks a guy in Australia called Matt Barry, and he's actually got some really good advice on the Australian market, how Australia has blown the biggest housing bubble in the world, and you can actually see it. Like, look, everything is affected by real estate, and he goes a bit into that. And I don't know exactly his background or where he comes from, but when he talks, he seems like he has an idea for what he's talking about. And yeah, I don't know his background. I don't know exactly what he did, but I did listen to him because I was like, yeah, this guy, he does seem like he knows what he's talking about. And I look at the stats and I'm like, yeah, the stats match up with what he's saying. So I am cross-checking stuff he says, and 9 times out of 10 he gets it right. And so I look at his stats and he's like, this is the biggest housing bubble in the world. And when it pops, it's going to be really bad. Like, because what happened is Australia's housing market is keeping everything going up because wages aren't inflating at the same rate as the economy, and so on and so forth. And yeah, Matt Barry has some really good advice. So if you can look him up, like, he has some really good stuff he's been saying. And yeah, what I mean is, like, there are finance YouTubers out there who do give good information and do just relay the facts and do just relay, hey, if you're going to invest your money in gold, maybe don't pay above spot. Like, try to get it as cheap as possible, because at the end of the day, you don't want to pay labor, and also it's going to eat into your profits. But look, I'm not a finance YouTuber. I just watch these guys, and I think that, yeah, I don't know, maybe you guys enjoy this sort of content. I mean, look, the main channel, the reason I haven't changed my main channel to another name is because it is my name, and I don't know what I'm going to talk about on here. I have moved the wrestling off into its own separate channel, but I want to come on here and just talk about anything. 9 times out of 10, it's physical media or gaming. But occasionally I can jump on here and talk about stuff like this, and I can talk about other topics. And I think that's really good, and I love doing that on the main channel. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.